Hello. Big episode 10 of After Dinner Mints. Nolan here.
The deuce.
Yeah.
Deuce.
No, that's not right at all.
We're in double digits.
The deuce is 2.
The deucel digits. Deucel digits. Anyway, Nolan here.
T.
Yeah, 10 has 2 digits.
No, I'm thinking about what 10 would be in Spanish.
And that's
Siete?
7.
Diez.
Diez.
Yeah.
Right.
9 10.
All right, fine. Jesus.
So I'm gonna share this little tidbit jumping in, but last episode Ken was talking about not driving through snakes.
I was.
Driving
Big
through
T Ken talking about driving through snakes.
driving through
Oh, I got bit.
smoke.
Oh, I got bit again.
and assuming that it was cyanide gas.
Wait, I'm gonna go off on a real, slight tangential side thing.
Sure, we're already tangenting. We're
Yeah.
11 seconds into the
I had
show.
this fun conversation with an ex-girlfriend once where we were driving by an ambulance, and she was like, "I wonder what's up with what's with that staff with the snakes on it?" And I was like, "Oh, you mean that's like on the side of like ambulances?"
Oh, what the fuck's it? The caduceus.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's because like when like ambulances got their start in the West, where like essentially they would have like snake bite victims, so they would rush carts out to them, and then they would beat the snake to death with a stick."
Please tell me she believed you.
She did. She
Oh
did.
my God.
I had her on the ropes, and then I had to drop the bomb, and then she felt like an asshole and got mad at me. It's
Oh,
fucking
that's
beautiful.
so awesome.
Well, that's better than where I was going, but I'll wrap it up.
It's all good. Yeah,
Fucking, I at one point was convinced that there were cobras in my refrigerator. Yeah.
The two of us are speechless.
Yeah. All right.
Did you accidentally
No,
mistake your jeans for cobras?
No.
Now I recognize that I have.
Somebody said that something was in the fridge, and I thought they said cobras, and I got worried.
Okay.
So
no.
was this a long-term thing, or was this a momentary like, oh my god? there's
No,
a
this
cobra
was
in
like
the fridge?
a 10-second interaction.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
All right.
Yeah.
So you quickly realized that you obviously misunderstood somebody, and that was
Yeah,
an
I was
absurd
prepared to
thing.
move, though, instantly.
It's bizarre
Like, I
that
was
you
prepared to
thought
not
that there
live
was
in
the
my house.
possibility that a cobra. I mean, like
No,
Now
the
this is
absurd
the
part
man who
is
thinks that he drove through cyanide gas.
the absurd part isn't the fact that he thought he misheard that somebody that said that there were cobras. It's the fact that for the moment he believed that
Well,
it
yeah,
was
that's
true.
exactly what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah, the fact that like in your head the possibility of a
Cobra being in my refrigerator.
king cobra, yeah, being fucking in your freezer,
Refrigerator.
in your fridge, that was a probable concept.
Yeah, that was definitely a probable concept.
Now, are you scared of snakes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like snakes.
No, I mean I don't like snakes either. I'm not scared of snakes. I've had pet snakes, which might I add, it's the worst pet to ever have.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
if you
you're
have,
not their
like,
friend.
reptiles-
You're their food. They're just waiting for their
Yeah,
time.
reptiles and insects as pets, you don't really have a pet.
Yeah.
You just have this thing fucking
That you
hanging
feed.
around that you feed.
Containing
yeah.
a creature. Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking horrible. Yeah, it's like having a fucking girl around
I
the house.
forget.
I've had
who
brothers
the
who've
fuck
had
I
like
was
alligators and snakes and shit. But
I
I've
forget
never had
who I
them.
was-
I've had a lizard once, but that was
listening
when I
to
was, like,
talk.
7.
But they were.
Gecko?
They
Yeah,
they had
like
a
I went
pet
at the
snake.
fair.
We'll just keep talking over him and weird
Yeah,
shit,
we're gonna do that.
discussing what insect lizard thing you had.
Anyway, this guy brought his fucking snake to the vet and was like, "My snake's acting really fucking weird. I don't know what's up with it." Fucking.
I brought my step to the vet, baby.
And he was like, he's not eating anything. He's real lethargic. And the vet put together that the snake was sizing him up to eat him because he was like done with all the food he was giving him. So he was going to eat him next. And then he had to get rid of the fucking snake.
Oh, like the
'Cause
snake
that's
had just
what's-
gotten too big.
Yeah, the snake had gotten too big and was planning on eating its owner. So that's,
Very
that's
possible.
what happens with
I feel
snakes.
the same way with birds. I hate birds. Birds shouldn't be
Birds are a fucking weird pet. Birds shouldn't be a
fucking
pet.
so cunty. Birds, insects, reptiles, they should not be pets.
Birds are basically reptiles. Fucking,
Yeah, little baby dinosaurs.
they're
My
fucking
biggest thing with birds
not
is-
a
You know
good
what?
pet.
I will give chameleons a pass.
Why chameleons?
I don't know, because they're cool. Because they got like the weird fingers and they got the eyes that move in different directions.
What about geckos who like scream?
No.
You know geckos scream?
Why do I want a screaming fucking
That's so fucking
lizard?
weird.
The thing that freaks me out about people who own birds, I know several people who have birds as pets, and they let them fly around the house.
Yeah, fuck that.
No fucking.
Why the hell would you let a shit bomb rodent with feathers fly around your house only to discover
That would be bats.
bird shit.
Bats are generally rodents with feathers.
All right, but the potential.
No, all right, mate.
The potential of bird shit
Nobody puts tea in the
all,
corner.
all over your house. It scares it. Like, why would you
It's just
welcome
fucking bird
Why
shit
am
is
I making
like
Dirty Dancing references?
bird shit's super fucking poisonous. Like you shouldn't be breathing that shit in. You shouldn't be making contact with it. That's not a good
You
fucking
smoke
pet
that
to
shit, it
have.
gets you fucked up.
that? You go on a vision
Yo, you ain't
quest.
never got fucked up on no bird
I've
shit,
never got
kid?
fucking honestly say I've never gotten fucked up on bird shit.
That's the real shit right there.
But I don't get why would you have
they're
the
horrible
potential
pets.
of having bird shit
Well, what
anywhere in your
what
fucking
about people that
house?
have like fucking macaws? Like them big ass motherfuckers. Like sure they're pretty. Like macaws are the big ones. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they be green, red.
Sure, yeah.
But like that fucker will cut your finger off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yes.
I thought I heard knocking.
That was just a dog tail. Do you remember Parrot Guy from Philly? From Rittenhouse?
Did he have missing fingers?
Wait, no, but he was.
No, but he was a fucking dick.
But everybody in the neighborhood knew him because he worked at a certain place. Or
He worked a certain place, dude.
Right.
This fucking
around
jerk
the
off
parrot.
well,
works
dude,
off
with Ando?
with this giant fucking
Ando's my dog, by the
parrot
way. Yeah.
on his shoulder. This giant ass fucking parrot.
Full white. What color? What?
Red.
Green, red, green
Must've
with
been-
like
It's probably macaw.
red face.
No, it
tail,
wasn't that
whatever.
big.
No, it was
just
parrot.
like a
It
regular
talked.
parrot. Yeah.
And
Maybe it
fucking,
was a green conure.
who fuck? Man, I don't give a shit.
My girl really loves
Fucking-
birds, so I know way too much
It
about
was.
birds.
It would like
I think
walk.
birds are beautiful. I think
would
they're
walk
really
from
cool,
side to
but
side.
in the wild.
And
I
it
have a
would be
bunch of
chained.
taxidermied ones all around my house.
Sure.
It was
They're
chained to his fucking shoulder. That's all fine. If that's your
chained
yeah.
like a pit bull,
Yeah.
like DMX.
if that's your deal and that's your pet, that's fucking fine. But he's walking around the
I gotta
city.
rewind real quick. I love the idea of like if you take DMX
Like a chain wallet.
and then swap out parrots for pit bulls. It just sounds beautiful to me.
He so naturally, because you're a small man walking around with a very large bird on your shoulder, people are
Small
going
man
to
with a
be
big
like,
bird.
"Hey, sir, what's up with your parrot?" Dude, he would get so fucking bent out of shape.
What?
That people like wanted to interact with the bird. Like,
But
does
you're
it talk?
walking around with a
You're
fucking
walking
parrot.
around with a fucking bird on your
Really?
shoulder.
You really
I never
not-
got to that point, so I didn't know
Dude,
this.
he was a fucking
Look,
dick.
Do you
little
really not expect
backstory.
people to ask you
To
about
ask
the
you
parrot
fucking questions
Right.
when you
you're
have an
walking around
8-foot
with?
bird on your
Yeah,
fucking
who are you,
shoulder.
fucking Captain Morgan.
When you're a
Blackbeard?
fucking 5'5" dude with a fucking 14-inch bird fucking walking
Yeah,
around
you're
your
walking
shoulder,
around like a goddamn pirate.
someone's gonna fucking
I'm sorry,
notice.
This is Philly?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're
little
walking around
back-
Philly looking like a fucking pirate, and
Yeah.
you don't expect anybody to ask any questions whatsoever.
Little backstory is this guy Nolan used to be a director of operations for a coffee company in Philadelphia. They have
Right.
retail locations throughout Philadelphia, and
Yeah.
he focused out of one specific store in Rittenhouse area.
I just hung out there all the time because I liked everyone who worked there.
well, that's what I mean. Like when I mean
Yeah.
focus, like that was like your central office location.
Yeah, I
kind of
spent
thing.
most of my
Right.
time there.
And this guy, and I lived close, which is actually how Nolan and I met. But this guy would come, you get his coffee, and he would sit in the tables outside for hours. So add on the fact that he's out in public to show off his fucking bird. To be like, hey, look at me, look at my bird. And then when he got asked for it, see, I didn't know about this. When he
Dude.
got asked about it, he got pissed about
He
it.
would get super fucking pissy. He would become fucking like a 12-year-old cunt and fucking
Here's
get an attitude about people wanting to fucking ask questions about his bird.
Here's the thing I remember about that asshole is every time I would walk my dog, because you used to be able to bring dogs into this coffee shop,
Uh-huh.
which was great. So I lived.
I hate people bringing dogs into places that serve food. I really do.
Okay.
It was a gay.
So-
we
This is
people
random
were
side.
allowed to bring dogs in this coffee shop because one of the owners of that particular franchise location had a girlfriend who worked there against all of our corporate policies.
yeah.
Who had a dog that she wanted to be able to bring in there all the time, and that is how they determined that they would violate all fucking food
Here's
safety
my
codes
line.
and allow
Here's my
people to
line.
bring
You're
dogs in
blind.
there.
If you're blind, you can bring your dog fucking anywhere.
Not if you need to have special needs, emotional needs.
He's emotional support.
No. And I mean, I don't mean to drag on this again, but again, I have PTSD. If I wanted to, I could have a fucking companion dog and shit. And I would never, like, and even if I had one, I wouldn't bring it into a fucking restaurant and act like people should just respect the fact that I have fucking emotional problems. I just wouldn't go to the fucking restaurant with the fucking dog, or I wouldn't go to the restaurant.
I would very much like to get like a really awkward pet that doesn't belong on a leash and claim it, get an emotional needs license for it, and fucking like walk like an emotional needs bat and fucking chain it to my shoulder just like parrot asshole and walk into a place with a bat
or
and
like a good like 5-foot iguana. You
Nice.
know what I mean?
Komodo dragon.
Right,
Exactly, you know?
Well, so people would walk by. This is a busy corner in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's right between residential and one of the biggest parks, or the most well-known parks in the city.
Yeah.
And so a lot of dogs were constantly coming by. So this guy would sit outside of the coffee shop with this bird on his fucking shoulder, and every time a dog walked by, the bird would squawk at the dogs. And the guy would laugh every time.
Recipe for fucking disaster.
The bird would squawk and taunt the dogs, and the guy would laugh like the bird is fucking like teasing the dogs going by. And if any one of those owners allowed their dog to just like, all right, go for it, that bird would be fucking dead in a heartbeat, and the owner would be like,
A chained bird has a hard time getting away from anything.
Like, what the fuck are you laughing at? Yo, you
Pretty much true of anything.
You think
isn't
you're
it?
a tough guy because your bird
necessarily
is
pigeonholed the birds.
But it's like you think you're a tough
It's
guy
not true
because your
far.
bird is squawking at the dogs? Like,
He was just a fucking asshole.
he was just an asshole.
Fucking asshole pirate with a bird on a chain.
Without the patch.
Yeah, hanging out a coffee shop. Mocking dogs.
So
How the fuck did we get here from Cobras in the fridge?
I don't know. Anyway. So you've had a topic about cum on the board for several weeks that has fucking intrigued me, and we've never gotten to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to talk about it
Kevin, what's
only
your
for the mere
obsession
fact
with
that we
cum?
get to erase it off of the board at this point.
Well, cum? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, my whole thing was one day I'm sitting in my living room. I busted a nut. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I'm a fucking I can't even talk right now. Jesus Christ!
You're
That's what happens.
vivacious?
Every time we do 2 podcasts in a row, we bring the liquor level into the second podcast, and the fucking enunciation goes to shit.
Mortification.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Sure.
like body mortification.
Body
being said
mortification.
19 times in a row.
Ooh, another t-shirt.
Body mortification. I like it. Yeah. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, cum.
You came in your living room.
Oh yeah, cum all day in my living room, baby. So anyway, yeah. One day I'm rubbing one out, I drop a nut, bust a nut, because you know I'm a young man with a vibrant libido.
So let me just reiterate. You dropped and busted a nut simultaneously.
Well, you bust it and then it drops.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm following your story.
You bust
Yeah.
a rhyme on a mic and then you drop it. You know? That's the way I handle my cock. My cock is my mic. Anyway, this is degraded. Anyway, so I'm jerking off, and I realize I jerk off a lot, and I jerk off a lot all over the fucking place. I'm not like, you know, outside of the kitchen. Pretty much, it's a free for all. You know what I mean? I won't jerk off, and I will fuck in a kitchen.
This is given my visits a whole new fucking perspective.
Which part of the couch can I sit on?
Oh yeah. You've been in at least 4 different rooms that I've come in. There's no doubt in my mind. So. Yeah, besides the kitchen, like if I will fuck in a kitchen because there's like a receptacle there, you know what I mean, to catch my man juice. But like outside of the kitchen, because I just, you know, it just feels dirty.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? To jerk off in the kitchen, it's just like you eat there. Why would you be coming on it? You know, you don't want to be coming where you eat.
We eat in his living room all the time. Just want to fucking put that out there
Anyway,
to all of you in podcast land.
well, I got that big fucking TV in the living room, so I can get like, you know, the full size,
Sure.
movie theater fucking
Experience,
yeah,
yeah.
you know. Anyway, I like jerking off, and I realized that, you know, you drop a lot of man juice all over the fucking place, right? You know what I mean? You bust a nut, that shit goes flying. You might catch most of it, you know. I mean, everybody has different techniques: tissues, socks, hands, mouth. wherever you're gonna fucking throw that semen. But inevitably, shit is going to get somewhere. I don't think I've ever known anybody who's had like a completely like 100% ratio of catch and cum. Do you know what I mean? There's always going to be a square.
Just stop.
Wait,
for a
who have
second.
you
Hold on,
surveyed
because,
about
yeah,
this?
Nobody.
That's where I was going. Is this
Nobody.
like
I'm
what was
talking
that
about
other survey from a couple
when
weeks
you-
back?
when you
where
say-
it's like, I want to know about the size of men's balls. So is this like the survey
No,
of men's
the-
balls
the
where you're
men's balls
asking
survey-
dudes, we're like, can I ask you a couple questions? How big are your balls, and how accurate are you on catching your own cum?
No, herein lies the difference. The men balls debate, right? I actually
Is it a debate?
Well, it was. No, not anymore.
Sure.
Now I have a
It
paddle.
was more of an inquisition.
It wasn't. I was just holding the fire to the feet. How big are your fucking nuts, you cock?
Tell me.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've sampled a large enough panel of individuals, and I have a fairly representative idea of the spectrum of male testicular size. You know, given a specific amount of interviews, I believe the panel in which I interviewed was large enough. You know, I sampled a large enough queue of individuals to ascertain the average testicle size. Now, that being said, I have not asked anybody about this, and I'm talking completely out of my ass, and I'm just assuming that when people fucking jerk off, some semen's gonna go flying that is uncaught.
Okay.
Right? And, I mean, is anybody, like, I'm assuming I'm in a room with two men who have jerked off at some point in their life,
Sure.
and you may have missed at least a part of a nut.
Potentially.
Maybe, sure, yeah, okay.
Right? I mean, I assume you don't have fail-safe technique. I mean, unless you're fucking jerking off with condoms on, I don't understand how something couldn't go awry.
Well, if you come into like a tissue or a napkin or something, like that's it. It's not like.
Well, do you have a dribble, or are you a shooter or a dribbler?
I guess a shooter. Like it.
Yeah. Like I'm a projectile. Like you know, you get me riled up. I'll paint a racing stripe up the middle of a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pull out and I'll fucking nutter from belly button to face. You know what I mean? Just dart her up like
I'm gonna split you down the middle.
Yeah, I'll hit her. I'll paint you up like a fucking '69 Chevy. You know what I mean? Just.
But if there's...
But wait, I think I understand what your theory is. There's always going to be stuff but it's not like a puff of air where like germs are gonna like float in the air and
It's not like a sneeze.
It's not like dog hair or cat hair where you don't know where it's gonna end up, but it ends up everywhere.
I don't know. You gotta come around my place. You know, I mean, I'm just.
Here's what I'm taking. Here's what I'm taking away. What I'm taking away is our esteemed colleague here isn't very accurate with the catching game.
Clearly.
No, I am.
Which I find is very weird because
Well,
you have two hands. It
I
takes
am
one
when
to
I
do
wa-
one
hold on.
job.
I am when I
The other
want-
has one job. It's not a hard job. It's just
I'll
a very
say this.
simple job.
I'll say this. I am when I want to be. When I want, I am a dirty boy. Let me just.
So are there times where you jerk off
I
and
have
you're
no
like,
filter.
oh, I'm too lazy. I forgot the napkin, but fuck it, I'm going to
fuck
do it
that. We can
anyway.
take it past that. There's been times where I've just been like, oh man, I'm just gonna bust a nut on the side of the washing machine.
Okay.
Like, well, I know, like, somebody's sleeping in the other room, and I want to jerk off, so I'm going to set up the laptop, and, like, because they were asleep, so then I'm just going to hit play, and I'm just going to fucking rub a nut out, and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like catching it today, and I'm just going to bust that nut on the side of the fucking washing machine, let that shit run down, and then clean it up.
I do get...
But then you're cleaning it up anyway.
Right.
Oh, I know.
No. Real quick.
There's something
there is,
free about just releasing.
I do get the idea. There is a difference between catching and just letting it fly.
like a catcher, like to take it back to
Catch
the
and
last
release.
podcast, it's like a catch and release.
Right.
program.
Yeah. I do get that there is a sensational difference between letting
like,
it
if
just
you're-
go.
Catch and release would sort of be like catching and then tossing it up in the air.
I'm fine with that too.
Just throwing the tissue out. But
I've seen some women that I can't
still
understand
like
how they got pregnant, and I can only assume it's because the guy came into his hand and then threw.
Well,
it
isn't
into
there
her
isn't there
vagina
a whole
like a fastball?
isn't there a whole thing with like sports players like NBA, NFL, and
Yeah.
hockey,
Well,
where
they jerk
like
off with their hands and then
no,
spike it in a
where
woman?
where girls will actually like get like keep the cum however it was on them, and
yeah,
they put
they'll
in
pull a
ice
condom and then-
get some woman
Yeah.
pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That has nothing to do with this.
However, that being said, I get there is a difference. There's a
Yeah,
sensational
free
difference.
fly versus like
But that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna like deface the washing machine or
Oh, yeah,
like
well,
just
come on,
let it
major
fly
appliances with no
in it because
issue
it's more
whatsoever.
cleanup. It takes more effort.
Well, now,
like
let me say this: I am also OCD, so I do sterilize the shit out of it afterwards. Like I'm not like a sloppy fuck.
but no, that's what I put.
Like you
It's
run a black
inefficient.
light
Like
and
if you
it's
spill
gonna be
it-
clean.
okay,
I'm lost here.
I'm.
Well, there's a top. We haven't gotten to the end of this.
Okay.
So
You
go,
guys
so
have
go on.
Yeah.
You
I'm
guys
still-
have fixated on my.
On every single point
Alleged
that you've mentioned, we
inability
fixated,
to
we're
catch
trying
semen
to-
in an
Fixated
We're
on my-
trying to put all the pieces together, but we can't.
Yeah,
so
well,
go
because
ahead.
you're fixating on my alleged inability to catch semen, which is not true. All right, I'm like I'm like a fucking World Series catcher if I want to be.
You're like a shortstop of all shortstops
Oh
when it
yeah,
comes
I'll
to
fucking Derek Jeter some come up like
Okay.
nobody's business. Now that
Okay.
being said, sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I just want to let that shit fly, you know, and I get a little thrill off of that. I like it. I like not having to concentrate on like, oh, I'm gonna jerk off into this tissue or this rag or whatever the fuck is laying around next to me on that.
But if you're gonna do
Okay.
that, why not do it in a locale where it's easily washed away, like
like
a
the side
shower?
of a washing machine.
No, like a shower.
Well, sure,
you
I've
just
jerked
turn
off
the
in
water
every-
on, shower goes, and then you don't have to worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
tell you right now. Here's a heartbreaker. If I've been in your shower, chances are I've jerked off in it. That's just the bottom line. Like that'll happen. You can't bring me
Okay.
to your house and be like, hey, take a shower, and I'm not gonna come on your shit. Not necessarily on your shit. All right, maybe I should bring this. I should.
Hey, dude, I'm going to the bathroom. Don't flush.
I should-
I gotta use the bathroom after you. Just hold on a second.
I should knock this down a notch. I'm not like I'm coming on your shower or your like shampoo or your fucking loofah. Like that's not happening.
Well, my mind didn't even go there until you just said that.
Your loofah.
Jesus.
Well, I'm like.
I have a bar of soap. Just don't come on the bar of soap.
Oh,
That's all.
I mean, we can get into more. Like my
No, let's not,
My
but
sexual
go ahead.
proclivities are ridiculous. I would rub my fucking genitals on girls' underwear, like
Okay.
just for random. No,
Ah, it's your own
thing.
You know what I mean?
But can we get back to the idea of how dirty your
it
apartment
was
is from
consensual
cum?
though. It was consensual rubbing on underwear. No, it wasn't.
Okay. So you think that because you just let your freedom fly, if you will,
Yeah.
that
Cum is going to go on
eventually,
things.
Eventually,
Or you have cum on
you
your
have
hands.
encountered something where you've ended up touching something and then putting your finger in your mouth or something where there's a proximity
Yeah,
of
don't
like.
you think there's a high? I feel like
No, I don't.
I feel like in any
I
man's
think that's
life,
just you.
I think you're fucking insane. I think you are. It's wishful thinking on your part.
I think every man or a majority of men have tasted
A
their
lot of
own
guys-
semen at some
No.
point in their lives.
Oh
No.
my God. Now here we go. Here we go. This has opened up a Pandora's box.
Definitely have not.
Have not as well.
Okay. But no, I think you guys.
I love the freeze up to just oh, can we move on now?
No.
'Cause I don't want to discuss this anymore.
No, I think you guys are a
obviously-
minority. I think a majority of men have when they're younger. When I'm talking like when you just first discover what it is, what happens, that you.
I'm not judging you. I mean,
No,
it's okay that you eat
it
your
is
cum.
what it is. Like you taste a little bit, just like what is this?
What did your
thing.
taste like?
I was 9 years old. I don't fucking remember.
Jerking off at 9. Powerful, Kevin.
I-
I'm stealing Rogan's
I can
shit.
assure
I hate
that-
myself that I just said that, by the way.
Anything that comes out of a hole in my body does not re-enter another hole in my body.
But that was like a.
I'm really having to think about that more than I think I should.
But the idea of what you're saying is that it's like that same. What's that theory that if people swallow like X number of spiders a year in their
Yeah,
sleep,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
where
like,
you're
you eat-
going,
like,
right?
Inevitably, you're eating shit. You know, it's like diner mints. Like you go eating mints from like loose mints at a diner, you're eating shit.
Right.
You're
Right.
going to be.
Well,
eating some
it's like
feces.
bar peanuts.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Same difference. I say, like,
or even touching money.
I imagine the average male has probably eaten at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of cum.
I disagree with that.
Based on what?
On the mere fact that you're insane because you just let your shit fly around your apartment.
Not always. You think you've caught? You think you have a 100% track record of every bit of semen that's ever come out of you has gone into a receptacle that could not be spread.
I think any potential that I've missed have been in an area that hasn't been attached to where my mouth would be or my hands to my
that
mouth
doesn't
would
mean
be.
that it's not there's not a residue on it, a small amount of it.
Also, I do laundry.
You hit. So do I. What does that have anything to do with this?
So that means if anything gets out onto anything that's like fabric, you end up washing like your bed sheets or your or whatever. Like it's washed, so it's not going into your mouth at any later time.
Yeah. Well, more what I'm referring to is like if you have a small residue, say on your hand, say you're jerking off, right? Say let's
just say for the topic of conversation that you're jerking off.
Yeah, I know it's a stretch, but say you're jerking off, right? And you're using a computer, right? And the porn's playing, you jerk off, or you're watching a DVD player, porn's playing. I assume you shut that porn off before you go and wash your hands. No.
No.
Nolan?
I don't really watch porn.
Oh, all right. Well, that's a whole other topic that probably.
Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me because it's Nolan. So he's
jerking off.
Nolan doesn't. Nolan's like that.
My imagination's
Nolan's
better
that
than anything
1% of like
that. But I something happened at some point in my life, and like where I used to be able to just like rip nuts out left and right in the shower to my own imagination. I now I can't do it anymore.
Really?
I've like depleted my imagination or something.
What?
Yeah, I really can't. Now I need just watching fucking poor little girls get defiled on the fucking internet, left and right.
It's like two ends of the spectrum.
I've gone the opposite direction. When I was like fucking when internet porn first became a thing, I was like, holy shit! Fucking now I'm just like, I've seen it.
Yeah, I went the opposite.
That does nothing for me.
I used to be primarily Imagine based, and then now it's all video or internet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I no joke. I'm right down the middle.
50-50 split.
Yeah, like I could use either. I could use my brain, or I could use.
I started one way, went the other. Nolan apparently started the other way, went the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just 50. Wow, that's weird. There we go. Now we've learned something.
Well, we have all demographics covered.
But that being said,
Yeah.
if I'm jerking off, I usually stop the video before I go clean up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like if I'm with my girl, like what? Like I got.
And then you get back on the keyboard, type, and then eat a brownie.
No, but I'm just saying,
All
if
right.
you get some, then if you hit that pause button, or if a little stray piece of nut, I find it maybe it's just me, but like literally, I can I'll hit like an 8-foot fucking nut. I'm not even joking. Like I will blow a load a good 8 feet across the room.
The distance isn't really what's in question. It's
but it is because the distance can also attribute to the amount of spread in which you're getting. You know what I mean?
Right, but whatever's
But
the question is whatever's 8 feet away from you at the time that you're busting this said nut.
Yeah.
How often are you touching it and then putting your hands into your mouth or putting your mouth on these things? Like what's
as often as 9-year-old Kevin.
I think you guys are in the minority. I think most men have done that at one point in their lives.
You really do? I don't know.
I really do.
I don't know.
Well, dude,
right now we have about 33%.
Mister, I'm worried. I'm curious about men's nut sizes. I think that you should be.
What does that have anything to do with tasting semen?
I don't think you should be as surprised by that as
Well,
a reality.
I'm not surprised.
Does
That's
it
what I'm
taste
saying.
like a Queen Anne olive, or like a kiwi, or like a hard-boiled egg?
No, I'm not.
No, but I'm saying,
not
given your
confused by the fact
proclivity
that
for
you've
that
tried
kind
it.
of perspective, I don't think the idea of trying your own
No, I don't
would
find
be
that
weird.
surprising.
And it's not like I just took a spoonful. It was like, no, he's like a touch on the finger, like you're trying food. And
That's
like
Kevin's Saturday ritual. Like he fucking just busts. He busts nuts in the cocktail glasses and then he slurps it down.
Trust me, I don't miss any. Honk, 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 honk.
But it shouldn't be a weird idea for someone who considers
No, I don't find
these
it a weird
thoughts.
idea.
Okay.
I just don't think it's a majority.
I do.
Well, right now we have a 33% rate. A third of the male public, as far as we know,
Yes,
has tried to taste their own semen. Now we'll need to get a bigger panel.
I think we do.
Yeah, and I'd be very curious. I'd be very curious to know that answer as well. And I will start quizzing people. Well, this will be repeated. This topic will come back on a future podcast. Now that being said, what I'm saying is that I think that the average male has fucking eaten more substantial amount of semen than they'd like to admit. You know what I mean? And
I could see the logic behind that.
through like circumstances outside of their control or unbeknownst to them. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and I wonder how
okay.
much the average.
I
hold on. Let me propose this question. How much of someone else's cum do you think you've eaten?
Oh my god! I mean, I'm sure. I would say it's less than the.
Like,
amount of
I
your
stay in a
own.
lot of
Right.
hotels.
Yeah, I would say it's probably less than your own, but you've definitely eaten other people's cum.
Here's the one
I would
scenario.
venture to say I've had more of other people's.
Than your own?
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on your own. Like it would.
Your
It depends
circumstances.
on everybody's circumstances. Sure.
Here's the one.
I wish I wasn't
scenario-
so proud to say that.
Here's the one scenario I think
This is
that
a
would
cum-full
fit towards
podcast.
your argument or
Okay.
towards your thought
Oh,
process.
would you do a little research?
No, this is something different.
Okay.
A one-off scenario where you're having sex with this girl, right? You've gone down on her, you had sex with her, you came, but you're still going, like you're still hard, so you're ready to keep going, right? So you guys are still doing stuff to each other. You end up going back down on her again.
Never done that.
Nope.
Nope.
The potential of your stuff still being around
Nope.
the area,
Nope.
but
No.
for the most part,
You are way more comfortable. I think we have obviously determined that you are way more comfortable with your own semen than me and Nolan.
but I don't think I taste my own stuff. Like it's not.
You did.
I don't.
You know what's funny here? I feel like he's putting up the most argument about like how much cum the average man has eaten, and he has obviously eaten way more cum than me. Blatantly obvious at this point.
I
He
don't
has
know,
eaten
but that's the thing.
way more fucking.
You guys
cum.
know. I think you guys are taking a stereotypical like hard guy stance towards
I'm not-
these thoughts.
I'm just
no,
being
no,
honest.
no. I'm being dead serious in the
As am
events
I.
of what I'm talking about. First off, going back for like hopefully the last
I won't even-
the idea of trying your own, right? I'm not saying like again, I took a spoon. It was literally like barely a dollop on your finger, like a barely
That's fine.
like not even
I'm
like a
just saying,
small
I won't
kiss.
even kiss a bitch after she sucks my dick until she hits that shit with a Listerine.
Agreed.
But yeah, that I agree with. But when you're in
I ain't
the
snowballing
when you're in
like
the
a
when you're in the
motherfucker.
motion, when you're in the movement, and like you guys are doing stuff to each other, and like it just and then you end up going down there again like
Well, and it's funny.
10, 15, 20
Well, I
minutes
just-
later.
you know, it's probably
there's
How about next week?
but
probably
that's
some
I'm not
ingrained
saying I do that every
homophobia.
time I have sex either. So it's not like I'm doing that all the time. So
No, you get in the mood. All kinds of weird shit.
right? Like you
Yeah.
don't know when you're in the moment, like so that. But it doesn't mean that I'm also eating my own stuff. Like
No, it does mean that.
It doesn't mean that.
It does mean that.
And this is coming
You
from the
can't
guy who
fucking-
says that
does
everything in
mean
your
that.
apartment is covered in semen and you're eating your own semen all the
It
time.
does mean that. Like if you come
Like
into
that's
a vagina,
I find weird.
No, you come into a vagina.
Right.
Right. That's semen and fucking.
If you're concentrating on the clit, you're not sucking the shit out of the hole.
Oh, I think them juices moving around maybe a little more than you think.
No, they do, but I think you're over exaggerating the idea of how
I'm
much
not over
is
exaggerating
mixing
the
in and
idea.
out
I'm
there.
posing
Like,
the question. Scientific minds would like to know.
Yes.
Inquiring minds. How much cum does the average man eat?
I don't think it's a lot.
I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm thinking it's more than you would imagine.
I don't think so.
I think the amount of shit. I think you eat more human feces.
I imagine it would be more than you would imagine, but mainly because you're not imagining it. This is not a question that most people are posing to themselves.
Well, most people aren't. Don't have the
I love how
intellectual
two guys
minds.
who
So they're not even thinking
who are
about it.
admitting
However,
the
I
idea
do
of
think most
eating
people
semen are giving me shit.
I do think that most people do consider at some point or another how much shit they're eating.
Yeah, right.
Just because they're hearing about like
Well, shit is shit intrinsically
Fucking-
gay, like or gayer? I don't know where I was going with that. Is shit intrinsically grosser than cum?
I would think
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
To people? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
the amount of bacteria that are in feces
If you had-
versus in semen
if you had a
is
job,
astronomically
right?
different.
Here you go. You have a job, right? Who knows what this fucking job is? You have to clean up one of three things: human shit, menstrual blood, or cum.
Wait, I was reading. Say that again.
Oh.
You have a job, right? This is like the classic like marry, fuck, kill, right? You have a job and you have the choice of cleaning up one of three things, and you have to do this day in, day
Cleaning
out.
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Menstrual blood, cum, or shit.
I feel like I'd clean up shit.
I'm going menstrual blood.
I'm thinking menstrual blood too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I feel like cleaning it up is different than fucking consuming it.
I'm gonna go with menstrual
Why?
blood too.
Are you imagining it like it's smeared around and?
Yeah, I feel like I could. I mean, I've cleaned fucking diapers and stuff, so
Sure.
the idea of cleaning shit isn't like terrifying to me. I've fucking worked in restaurants my whole life.
But it's way dirtier. It's way like intrinsically from a health standpoint. It's far dirtier than semen or menstrual blood.
Yeah, it's like a texture thing.
I love how this debate goes.
For
to,
me,
like,
it's
the texture of
a
the
smell
cleaning
thing.
up.
Menstrual blood doesn't smell anywhere near as bad as semen or shit.
Really, I can't smell semen at all. Yeah.
Really?
No,
Semen
mine.
Dude,
stinks.
those fucking trees that smell like
Yes.
No, I don't even know what. Like people have repeatedly told.
For real?
I've had this debate with many girls, like multiple girls. I literally like at least my own. I've never smelled another man's cum, but my cum seems scentless to me. I literally cannot.
That sounds like a medical
It
issue.
doesn't
smells
smell
like
like
chlorine.
anything. No, to me, it doesn't smell like
Wait,
anything.
are you just saying that for shock value, or are you really your semen really smells like chlorine?
That scares me. I think you have issues.
You're fucking kidding, right?
Your semen. First off, you have
I'm serious. My cum does
almost
not smell like chlorine.
guava-sized
No, dude.
testicles, and your semen smells like chlorine.
It smells fucking bleachy.
Not mine. No.
That is such a common fucking thing.
Is it?
Well, here, hold on.
Is
hold
it,
on,
Nolan?
hold on.
Is it?
Keep telling yourself that, sir.
All right, I'm the only
No, no,
fucking.
no, here we
you're
go.
right.
In this room? Yes, you are the only one whose
My
semen
cum,
smells
yeah,
like
I mean,
chlorine.
I know
I've
what bleach
heard
and chlorine smells like.
A million times, fucking.
I want
referred
a
to
million
as
names of a
bleachy.
million times that you've heard
Yeah,
bleachy.
keep waiting because that
bleachy
shit ain't never happened.
No.
All right, whatever.
I will say, look,
Is it Nolan?
cum.
Is it?
Now I have to Google
getting
bleachy
all-
cum.
he's
See what the
getting
fuck
indignant
comes
and
up.
Bleach smelling semen.
Like, here's the thing. Cum. It's a well-known fact that cum can taste very different depending on what you eat and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I did not know that was a well-known fact.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, here's a fact. Cum will taste very different. I'm smacking my mic all over the place. Cum will taste very different based on what
Stop
you eat.
jerking off.
Like if you eat a lot of lettuce, here's one thing too. If you eat a lot of lettuce and like
with the
fibrous
foods we eat,
things,
all right, I can understand
it'll
that.
actually add weight. Like you'll have it.
Semen
larger.
is supposed to smell like chlorine and bleach.
All right,
It's supposed to?
time
It's
out.
perfect.
What do you
What
mean it's supposed
website are
to?
you getting that off of?
Semen-
Bob's,
Because, right.
He's bobscumsite.com.
Right, yeah. Give me a legit website that specifies semen is
Mike
supposed
loves-
to smell like
yeah, I
I
chlorine.
can't even read
Mike
the
loves
fucking name of this website. I did a Google search for bleachy cum. And the first thing that comes up is an article on increasespermvolume.com.
Here we go.
Oh, Christ.
If you're coming to this podcast for actual science,
right.
yeah, find another podcast.
Dude, fucking. My girlfriend says cum smells like chlorine and tastes like chlorine. Why does cum smell like chlorine? The smell of cum is like chlorine. Is it semen?
All that
Oh my
says is
God,
you're not the only
bleach
one.
smelling-
It does
literally-
not mean that you're the majority.
Why does
I
semen
can honestly
smell like bleach?
Hold on. Here, I can tell you. This is the only feedback I've ever had. Salty. Like I've had salty. I've heard sweet after I've eaten a lot of pineapple or strawberries, right? And then
It's like kettle corn.
And then I've had like fresh cut grass, like very like
Wait, what?
like fresh cut grass, like very good.
Was she really into wine or beer? She's like, oh, I get flavors of.
Oh, I see. I take notes.
Right.
You've never lived in
There's a fresh cut grass and garlic
Hold on,
with
I
fresh
shit you
baby
not.
onion.
I am being 100% sincere. I have never heard cum smelling or tasting like chlorine or bleach before this very moment.
I've heard it a million times.
This is a first for me as well
From a ton.
regarding.
Yeah, I'm not
people.
lying to you. I'm not lying to you. I know. I can see you. You are defensively. You are just desperately
Yeah.
searching the internet for.
No,
fucking,
that's not what I'm looking for right now. But there's also those trees. Yeah, a calorie pear tree smells
What
like.
the fuck is a calorie pear?
I don't know.
The trees in Philly you're talking about.
Yeah, they smell like semen.
They have these. All right, they have these. When they bloom,
Pyrus
Do they turn you on
Caliana
when
they have these seeds that look like really large cherries with spikes on them. Right, not large spikes, but kind of like
Like the hard one,
like topographical map of mountain range kind of spikes on them. Right, not pointy, but rounded at the edges.
Yeah, it's an
So-
ornamental pear tree.
Oh, those green
Yeah.
ones. Those green, like the green little bomb.
Well, they
kind of
turn
things?
reddish, but yeah, they start green or whatever. But they drop onto the sidewalks. But when you step on them, when they break, they have this god awful stench that smells like semen, but other like
More
trash.
precisely,
and-
a calorie pear or Pyrus calarina or deciduous tree is common throughout North America. It blossoms in early spring and produces 5-petaled white flowers that smell like semen.
Well,
And
obviously,
the curiosity is when the planners of Philadelphia decided to put the specific trees on the streets, what in God's name made them decide to
do you
put
recognize we've done
these
like a half an
trees?
hour on fucking cum right now?
Yeah,
which
'cause
is-
it's the
I'm happy
look
about.
of the tree.
Which is, but you figure after all these years of people complaining, locals, residents complaining about the stench,
That they would change it.
that something would happen.
It's a
See,
lot
that-
of work to fucking cut down.
I was
all
going to
those
wait
pine
until we
trees.
had a bigger sampling too for this. Like I wanted to wait until we had Stefan in here too, so that we could get a bigger pool. You know what I mean? Of people to question.
I think Stefan would just be sitting there in silence, dumbfounded by
Well,
all of
Stefan
us.
has obviously just taken a backseat approach to this entire thing. Completely? He's obviously done with the podcast. So fuck.
Now we got.
He's dead to me.
The prodigal son will return. He is.
Why is he prodigal? Why you got to punch him
No,
up?
it's his son.
Yeah,
Oh, he's your son.
it's my son.
You grew him.
I did grow.
He's
him.
my nephew.
I grew him from my sperm trees.
Well, nephew is a pretty common term. You know. Yo, what's up, nephew? You know, what's up, uncle?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So
Wow, he blew that off. Anyway,
yes,
I'm saying I think men have eaten more cum than they like to believe, and my cum does not smell like bleach or chlorine. Not to me, anyway.
right.
yeah. I really don't know where to.
I've
go
never
from
heard
that.
anybody. Yeah, nobody's ever.
I
told me
also,
that.
The
by
bleach
the
chlorine
way,
thing I agree with you
think
is
that
insane,
I think
but-
that tree smells like chlorine. Also,
I mean, it's very.
Uh,
It's also very diet related. I imagine there's lots of elements to this, like individual pH balance, personal diet. There's tons of things.
well,
that
the
are gonna
diet thing,
change.
yes, I agree.
I know. I
Affecting your
remember reading an
personal
article.
because it affects your urine the same as it would affect any
Sure,
other.
exactly.
sure.
You know,
It affects
you
your
eat asparagus,
sweat.
it stinks.
The reason why Southeast Asian people smell like curry is because they eat a lot of it in their diet. So you can
Well, that
smell
and they're dirty.
when somebody goes out drinking way too much, and then they come in the next day, you could smell the alcohol coming out of their pores. So
Yeah.
I mean, it does affect.
I remember reading
but-
an article. I think it was with Peter North, the male porn star, who had actually stated that like before a shoot, he'll eat a lot of like lettuce and like water-filled like lettuce and celery, stuff like that, and it
Sure.
would actually give him a larger, like a more heavier load.
Huh.
see the fucking Louis C.K. thing. We were just talking about one of his friends, and they're like, I go out with this girl tonight. I think I'm gonna bang her and drink a lot of milk. He was like, why? So you come where he's like, who told you that? Like your body just goes, we're out of cum. We got milk. Yeah, just run that through.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I've never heard that before in my life.
It's the same thing.
Fuck. Anyway, so in conclusion, everyone is eating tons of cum.
Yeah.
I think probably more of other people's than their own.
I mean, it depends. Like, it depends on the person.
You know what I think is fucking
Unless you
interesting?
got a douchebag waiter who's coming into this day's soup, like
Or if you're a real fucking prude girlfriend,
What I think is
you probably haven't eaten a lot of cum.
what I think is sort of poetic is the example put forth about mints at a diner. I think it's interesting
Well, we're comparing mints in a diner to
that
digesting human
that the
semen.
name of the show is After Dinner Mints, and the comparison is that when you go eat after
Sure,
dinner mints,
yeah.
you're just being fed a
you're
bunch
all
of fucking
eating
shit.
Our semen.
Just like this podcast,
You're
it's
being-
covered in cum and shit.
Right.
You're being fed a bunch of fucking shit, and that is essentially what we do for an hour and a half every fucking week. Just feed you a bunch of fucking garbage and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that's just the way it works, you know? At least with me, I know.
Well-
I don't know. I know I have a lot of self-control issues. I jerk off a lot. I fucking love getting nuts out. You know what I mean? And that I'm probably like, I don't know. You hear like these things. You hear these things about like David Duchovny and stuff like that, and these people that allege like having like sexual addictions and shit like that.
Wasn't he on a show about that?
Californication. That's an awesome
The show
too.
wasn't about that, but it was like a result. Like
That show was hilarious.
This
I
show
love
was
that.
I
amazing.
remember
yes.
listening to somebody.
that's a
fucking talk-
Showtime show.
Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah.
Fucking Jim Norton would get all up in arms about that show when it was on TV because he was
About
like
liking it or hating it?
about hating it because
Really?
he was like a real sex addict wouldn't be like with that caliber of woman. They'd be taking what they. Could
Oh, but
get
it wasn't
100% of the
about-
time.
Yeah, but
It
on the
wasn't
same
about
token,
being a
if you
sex
look
addict.
like David Duchovny and you have money like that, then you're gonna get, and you live out in fucking Hollywood, you're gonna get that kind of girl.
Well, and Jim was
'Cause
That's
also
fair,
getting-
but you know,
Jim was getting a little
just in
older than
general.
that with
Yeah.
that too. He's trying to compare it to like his life experience, and it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily about sexual addiction. It was just about a guy who's a fucking jerk off.
By the way, that was my main point of reference when he constantly referred to semen as his bleachy, salty goodness.
oh, it was
Yes.
Mr. Norton.
So you're like, I'm not alone.
Jim Norton's one of my personal.
I'm in-
saints.
Are you
excellent
sure you
company.
want to make Jim Norton on like your go-to
He's
reference?
not my basis
Like,
of
your-
personal comparison.
Oh my god!
But I would venture to say
Yeah, well, Jim Norton agrees with me.
the voice of experience.
I imagine sexually, I probably have more in common with Jim Norton than either one of you.
I think so.
Probably.
Could be true.
I am a dirty bird. That being said, well, yeah, how the fuck do we get here? So, yeah, so I jerk off a lot. I have a lot of self-control issues. I need
Is that?
to get that fucking nut off, like, constantly.
Okay.
Unstoppably, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's that same kind of thing, and it leads into other elements of my life as well, where I have, like, I don't know what it is. I just have general, I definitely have control issues, right? But in addition to that, I have problems with bettering my own life, right? And I feel like every time I take one step forward, I have to take another step back to counterbalance it. Like, I can't just,
Subconsciously?
no, conscious, I mean, it's one of the...
You don't
coin
realize
flip
until
kind of
Like
after-
it
things.
happens
hindsight, you realize
subconsciously,
what
but
you've
you're
done.
aware of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, I just did it again.
Yeah, like recently, like Nolan's been on a pretty hardcore keto diet, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of inspired me to do like a very similar thing. Like I haven't transitioned totally yet.
Fucking inspirational.
It's true, and I haven't.
Your head has gotten smaller.
Yes.
That's always a good thing. Yeah, I'm waiting for at some point.
Makes
I know.
it much easier to catch the cum.
So and that has inspired me, and so I haven't completely transitioned into it though, because like I'm not gonna like throw out all the food in my house that I
Right.
bought. You know what I mean? So I'm
I
gonna
did
eat.
the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna finish all the garbage I have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I spent money on this shit.
Exactly. Fuck that shit. Like I ain't gonna.
I
waste
still got
it.
ice
Really
cream in the
more.
freezer. I'm
That
gonna
was
eat that
really
shit
more a
first.
matter of fucking personal economics than self control.
Yeah, it's just practical, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't.
Well, it's like quitting smoking. I'm going to finish the rest of this pack and then I'm done.
Sure. Yeah, same concept. Anyway, so I haven't fully gotten there yet because we still have to deplete our like freezer and pantry supply.
Seriously,
but
Nolan, real quick, don't fight it. Go to bed. Go to sleep.
Oh,
Is
he's,
that what- I
Kevin's
wanna-
trying to
That
push
was a,
Nolan
that
to
was
bed.
a fucking good yawn. I'm not sleeping yet.
Sorry.
So I want to make sure I clean my pantry out and my freezer and shit like that before I fully move into a new diet. But that being said, it's like, but I have taken lots of steps, and like, so I would say like 2 out of every 3 meals a day are full keto. And, you know, I might be taking in maybe like 150 grams of carbs a day at the most. We're talking high end. You know, like I would say average end, maybe like 70, right? Which isn't bad at all. That being said, I've also been smoking more lately. You know what I mean? And I can't, there's something about me. It's like anytime I do something healthy for myself, I feel like I'm admitting the fact that I'm going to die. Right? And the only reason I'm doing this is trying to prevent death.
Right.
And then that makes me seek out other vices to just kind of counterbalance it.
Right.
To be like, no, I'm in control of this. Fuck you, you know? And I know it's like a futile fight.
Could it be as simple as the fact that a lot of the foods that most people are used to eating release similar, if not the same, chemicals as vices do in our brains? And
It's
when
true,
you,
yeah. I mean, you eat a lot of sugar, you get that endorphin, dopamine release.
If you lower one access of that chemical release, you seek out other versions of it. So you have to end up having the willpower to like retrain your body, which is part of what ketogenics does, right? It retrains your body for that.
Yeah, where your body burns on fat instead of carbs.
What?
I don't know. Nolan's staring over here like something's curious, and
I'm good. Yes.
But that changes your mentality too.
A ketogenic. So for anyone who doesn't know, the ketogenic. When your body's in a ketogenic state, your body produces ketones, which is a byproduct of your body burning fat and running off of burning fat rather than burning sugar, and then in turn your body again burns those ketones. So you're essentially producing significantly less waste.
It's true. And I have heard some doctors refer to it as an unhealthy state for the human body to be in. But I don't know why. Like, I've never heard anybody say why.
I think
was
the
it
medical
Dr.
profession
Oz?
is about
No.
medical profession is about 10 years behind the science. Honestly, like across the board. In like all spectrums, because
you think?
Yeah.
I actually don't think that's an outlandish thought in most science.
The stuff that you read about, like the stuff that you read about that people are like doing this and getting healthy, is about 10 years before it hits the mainstream and is accepted by medicine.
This is more of an opinion-based kind of step.
No. Realistic, like in all reality, the science and medicine are typically used as interchangeable terms, but the actual medical industry tends to take about 10 years to catch up to what the actual research is in what they're offering as practices, how you should be eating, the types of medicine they're doing, the types of treatments that are happening.
That doesn't really seem that outlandish when you consider the fact that when somebody graduates medical school, then they go directly into the majority of their time is filled either with seeing patients or paperwork. And the amount of time to study anything, and the amount of scientific studies that are out there aren't necessarily always linked to hospitals. It has to get published, and it has to, after it's published, then it has to get
but you do also
debunked, potentially be debunked, or approved,
peer review.
Sure.
So by the time you're actually, as a doctor, able to go back and say and learn these new things, the new thing is X number of years.
Well, yeah, but you do have to renew your medical license regularly, and in order to renew your
medical things like diet aren't necessarily involved with a new medical license.
Yeah.
And one of the things, and Chelsea actually says this all the time, and I agree 100%.
Chelsea, me and your wife.
Yes, saying that doctors are trained. Doctors are not trained in prevention. Doctors are trained in emergency. They're not trained in health management. They're trained more in emergency treatment. So they have a proclivity to treat things like it's an emergency, where if you just focus on taking fucking care of yourself in the first place, you avoid most of the conditions that they're trained to be treating, but their knowledge base doesn't even lie in prevention. Their knowledge base lies in. It's not even this it's not this conspiracy theory attitude of there's more money in.
No, I honestly feel like
in treatment than a disease, but
personally.
Mine is fucking not.
Yeah.
At all. I changed. One of the biggest reasons I changed my diet was because I get fucking gout. And it fucks me up. And
that is weird. Yeah, that is a weird one where you just start bursting out. And
totally changed my. It has improved it. Well, it's totally fucking stress related more than anything else.
Prior to you, the only person I knew with gout was my degenerate. Well, not degenerate. He's paranoid.
Yeah, it's usually reserved
My
for
paranoid
70-year-old
schizophrenic,
alcoholics.
Alcoholic, yeah.
Yeah. But my doctor's like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, and he's like all the things he's listing that I shouldn't eat because of gout. I already don't fucking eat. So he's going down the list further and further and further, and it's like, oh, so what should I like? The only things that are not on this list are like candy and fucking popcorn. So it's like at this point.
So yeah,
at this point,
diet on candy
the
and
only things
popcorn.
I'm eating are fucking making me
You
sick.
know what? It honestly doesn't sound like a bad diet. I will eat popcorn
So
covered
he's
in chocolate all day long.
long story short,
to be
it's
honest. That sounds
I
delicious.
was like, well, I'm moving. My diet's moving in like more of a ketogenic direction. He's like, well, that's bad because of like the amount of fats and cholesterol and blah 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 blah. And fucking, I know.
I'm sorry, we're getting Kevin is spacing out here. In
Yes,
the corner,
he is.
Just staring off at the fucking wonderland.
So he's like, your blood pressure's going to go up. You're going to gain weight. Blah 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 blah. I've lost fucking 50 pounds and my blood pressure has dropped multiple fucking points.
Which is awesome, yeah.
And against all of my doctor's fucking
Well, the only
advice.
thing you'd have to concentrate on, I believe, mostly is just to make sure that your bad cholesterol levels don't get too high.
Right.
Yeah.
So against all of my doctor's advice, I have gotten significantly fucking healthier, improved all of the measured markers of fucking health that they use, and in the meantime, multiple fucking studies have come out saying that like cholesterol from fucking eggs, animal fat, and all these other fucking things bear zero to no to fucking minimal impact on like your cardiovascular health.
You know what I'll say? Since I've changed my diet so much, my poops have been delightfully solid. They have been
less frequent for me. Oh wait, I'll let you. No, keep going.
Yeah, my poops have been way more. Yeah, I've had I would say same frequency. Like I'm a once a day pooper myself, but with that one a day poop, it's been more solid. Like it was a loose guy. I mean my fucking shits were like routinely loose, like to the point that my doctor actually said like, oh, well, just eat less roughage. Like, just stop eating salads and shit like that, which I was eating a lot of, because it'll just, like, they're just kind of breaking
Yeah,
me
it's
down.
fiber.
Yeah, exactly. And since I've been eating more, basically, meat, and, I mean, I'm still eating vegetables. Basically, it's just cutting out a lot of the bread. Although I know I also have, like, a wheat allergy. Like, not in your douchebag, fucking, gluten-free, horseshit kind of way.
Right.
Like, I'm actually allergic to whole wheat.
Guess who thinks she's
Got a gluten allergy? Oh, the reoccurring misadventures of Reiki Girl.
go on.
All right. Yeah, so, like, I actually have a whole wheat allergy, so you'd think maybe I wouldn't eat bread, but I fucking still do because it's
Right.
delicious, but it makes me shit my pants. Not
Sure.
literally, but figuratively. But yeah,
Well,
my
if you
poops have
come
been
everywhere, you might as well shit
delightfully-
everywhere.
What was that?
So if you come everywhere, you might as well shit everywhere.
I disagree. I like coming places. I don't like shitting places. That doesn't sound fun to me.
Just shit on the side of your washing machine.
Just shit in my hands, throw it in a handful. You know, I've had it. I have like I do.
I
sure.
find that it's really hard to catch all of the shit in a napkin or a sock.
Well, you know what? Rewinding back. Yeah, we didn't touch on this. I literally have to use like 4 tissues at this point. I
You must drink a lot of milk.
I jerk. Yeah, right. So I jerk off, and I normally catch it with a tissue. But I found that if I don't use like 4 tissues, I will blow a hole through it.
This fucking show is an endless cycle of shit and cum.
Yeah, I'm like a 4
Oh,
I think
God,
we just
what are we
found the
doing?
title.
tissue. I'm a
What
4
have we
tissue man
done?
myself. An endless cycle of shit and cum.
Endless cycle of shit and cum.
So yes, back to your shitting habits.
Yeah, they've been delightful lately since the shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's rewind this back. So I get in this constant dichotomy of fighting between like, all right, well, I'm going to change my diet. Why am I going to change my diet? I'm going to change my diet so I can be healthier. Well, why do I want to be healthier? Oh, well, so I can live longer, I guess.
Because you have people who care about you and love you and want
No, that
to
doesn't even
experience
come into
life
my
with
head,
you.
honestly.
And why the
I'm
fuck would you think that shit?
I'm so much more self-centered than that.
Douchebags.
I really am.
Assholes who think
I
that
will admit
way.
that. Well, you're the fucking complete opposite end of the spectrum. You're Captain Codependency over there.
Okay.
Captain Codependency.
But to be fair, my relationships do rely on a sense of them, like me being needed for something, but I survive without that much more than I do. Like my friends, I prefer to be much more independent, much more intellectual. So that means that the people who I actually prefer to be friends with, who I find more common with, don't need me as much. So I have the majority of my friendships have much longer durations of a lack of communication than there is for actual communication. Sure. Right. So I actually survive on the regular much more average by myself rather than interacting with people. So
right, well,
not necessarily codependent.
Me personally, I'm selfish. And so yeah, it doesn't even count into
I bet hearing that back is going to make me really sound sad.
You're gonna be like, why did I bring that up?
Right.
I hate myself right now. Yeah, it probably will.
I'm sure it will, but hopefully I'll be drunk when I do it. So go ahead.
There you go. So yeah, I honestly don't think about other people at all. I'm far more self-centered than that. Like my idea of like the only reason I want to live longer is so I don't die. I don't care if I leave somebody hanging or if other people are traumatized by my death. I really don't. I'm very self-centered in that respect. I just don't want to die. Now, that being said, I'll do this healthy thing, and then I'll do something else to, like, counterbalance it. You know what I mean? And I get stuck in this constant dichotomy, but then I've also looked at it, and it's like, it's also a measure of, like, restraint versus pleasure. You know what I mean? And I'd rather live, in all honesty, I would personally rather live in a completely hedonistic, like, what am I looking for here? Self-fulfilling
pleasure dome.
Pleasure dome. Yeah. I just want to come on things.
Banana hammocks everywhere.
I just want to shove bacon with one fist in my face, you know what I mean? While I'm fucking gobbling fucking pineapples in the other, and I'm rubbing a nut out on Fiona Apple, you know, around, you know,
old school '90s hottie reference.
Yeah, exactly. Like criminal. You know,
yeah. No. I'm with you.
Like,
I'm absolutely with you.
Fiona Apple is one of those girls where it's like
Fiona Apple was like the Alanis Morissette, but real. Like she was like the legit angst.
Fiona Apple's like, I don't really find you hot, but I want to come.
And then she lost even more weight, and you're like, how the fuck are you that skinny? Now you're Ethiopian, and it's not cool anymore.
Am I the only one that, like, there's girls where, like, I don't even really find you hot, and I don't really want to fuck you, but I want to come on you. Does that resonate with anybody?
If that is in any way equatable to hate fucking, if that's in any way equatable to hate fucking, then I can understand.
Most of my hate fucking involves men. I will say that.
Nope.
I don't have any level. Nope. I don't have any level of hate fucking that involves women. Like, I've never hated a woman enough that I want. That's not true. I lied. This is a lie. I have actually hated people and then fucked them just to make myself feel better for fucking them or degrading them. But it's much more degrading kind of fuck.
I think that's the concept of hate fucking as a degradation aspect, not a self-hating.
Never a standard kind of like degrading fuck. It's like, oh, you're dating this guy now. Cool. How about you follow me into the fucking bathroom of this club and you can blow me and then go kiss him on the lips? You know? If that counts as a hate fuck. Dead silence.
I don't think
you like, but no. But I think like average, you've gone a little further down the rabbit hole.
I'm a dirty bird.
No, it's not the dirty bird thing. It's the idea, the concept of hate fucking is just when you end up meeting somebody that there's you can't stand their personality, but there's an attractiveness to them. Like you're like, okay,
that's
obviously it's like Kim Kardashian would get hate fucked by the majority of men in America because she's hot enough. There's a sexiness there that is prevalent. You can't deny that there's an attractiveness to her.
Oh yeah, I would.
But her personality turns you off, and so you have two options. You either you're turned off so much by her personality that she's now ugly, or you just decide that I would hate fuck you, which means I would fuck you, but I would just completely
see, to me that's
all the stereotypical degrading shit that you could think of you would do to that girl because you don't give a fuck what she feels, and that's hate fucking.
I don't think I've ever done that. No.
I fall in such a different fucking camp with that. Like, as soon as I don't like you,
You're not attractive anymore.
that's fucking at all.
Right.
I don't
I'm in that
want to
boat.
hate fuck
Yeah.
you. I want to fucking spit hot coffee in your face.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Like, that's...
But to some guys, that's the same as hate fucking.
I guess.
That's like, I'm gonna degrade you.
no.
I'm gonna do like the most degradable.
Yes,
like,
it's like,
I'm
to
not
me,
gonna ask your
maybe
permission.
it's-
I'm
hold
just
on.
gonna do these things to you,
I'm
and
gonna
you're
throw this
gonna
out
deal
there.
with it.
Well, that's rape.
For me,
It's not hate.
There's a fine line.
That's a different...
Have you ever
fucking
met a girl
scenario.
who?
Yeah.
Have you ever been with a girl who wanted you to be a little bit
rape
more?
fantasy, I
rape
actually
fantasies,
worked for
yeah.
a woman. I had a woman who said she had dreams about me breaking into her house and raping her at night.
I had one ex-girlfriend who wanted me to do that. I couldn't do it.
fulfilled them.
Really, bitch? Ah.
But that being said, I don't have that kind of like hate fuck kind of thing. Yeah, I'm in the
Yeah,
only
I
camp.
don't
of,
I'm
like,
not saying I think I've ever done it to that extent. but
No. I'm just saying like I don't have the feeling like if I don't like you at all, I don't like you. And like for me, it's a more
Yeah.
egotistical thing. Like where it's like I won't even bless you with the reward of having my cum on you. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even like,
oh,
you're not even going to, I wouldn't even give you the opportunity
the circle
to see
of
my
life.
dick. Yeah, let alone would I fucking fuck you. Like, because you're disgusting. I fucking hate you. No.
Bitch, I can spew 8 feet away. You don't even know.
Yeah. Well, Jesus Christ. Where the hell did we get here?
Self-control.
Self-control.
Right.
Yeah, hedonistic lifestyle.
Yes.
There you go. Big props to Nolan for bringing that son bitch back. Yeah, so there is...
That's ketogenics right there. Right? Fixes your
think it might be the
brain.
only one-
It actually
Your
does.
brain synapses.
Brain runs on ketones.
He's also the only one not drinking right now. So
But
that
I
might
was going to
play a
bring
role
that up too, but I didn't think that would be as funny.
So yeah, there's also it's just that hedonistic lifestyle where it's like, well, and then how do you weigh that out? Like, what's the difference between, like, all right, say you do everything right, you eat right, you don't drink, you don't do drugs, you don't smoke, and you get an extra 10 years out of your life, but had you done all that shit, you may have enjoyed life more. Where's that focal point? You know, how do you weigh that
That all depends
out?
on your own personal priorities.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, look at you.
Not
Everybody.
talking on mic. I can't imagine that I would enjoy life more if I was drinking. I think I would enjoy it even fucking less.
No, but it's different for every person. I mean, like,
Right.
I'm not saying like that those specific. I'm not saying like, hey, do crack and heroin, and then you're going to
Right.
be great. You know, I'm saying everybody has like different vices.
Sure.
That could stunt the length of your life.
But
Yeah.
that's it right there. It's just whatever vices are a priority to you. I mean, everybody can bring out examples of people like George Burns or anybody from like the Rat Pack era that lived at least to like the late 80s, early 90s, drinking. So they go out to Las Vegas, I guarantee you're going to find a ton of like 90-something-year-olds that have been drinking and smoking and playing slots for the last 50, 60
even
years.
my own grandfather.
and love that shit.
My own grandfather worked in a fucking clay mine. Fucking smoked like a box of cigars a fucking day, and then died at 89. You know what I mean? With no problem whatsoever.
I don't
But that
feel
doesn't
like
mean-
I don't feel like I do those things to extend my life so much as I do to
You listen to your body and what your body tells
yeah.
you.
It's
works
like
with.
it's like about how I feel right now.
Like you were going back
Yeah,
to
but
the
I feel
idea
way
of
better when I eat like a fucking whole plate
don't.
of
Well,
nachos. to
I
myself.
fucking
you went back to the idea of like
asshole.
your body feeling
goddamn, I love
different,
it.
like your shits, right? For
Yeah.
me, it's like when if I sweat, right? When I'm not taking care of my body, when I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not eating right, I'm not exercising, I'm not doing any of those things. The two things that happen in spades are my allergies come into full like bloom. Like my eyes, I wake up in the morning, my eyes are swollen shut. I can't breathe. I'll sneeze, whatever. When I'm exercising, even mildly, and I'm eating right,
You feel like you
I
benefit
sweat
more.
less. Like my body actually utilizes the amount of like water in it better, so I sweat less, and I like my allergies are practically gone. Like I don't worry about. I don't take allergy pills. I don't do anything else. But when I
Seems
don't
odd
take
to
care
me.
of
I can't-
myself,
like, if you have allergies, I can't see why diet.
it's no
Like,
diet
would
and
change
water.
that.
No water. No, it's exercise and water for the allergies.
Because you're working more of that shit out of your
like you're
That's not gonna
increasing
change,
your immune system. You're increasing
if
the
you're
amount of
allergic
times
to, like-
your heart and your adrenaline are pumping stuff into your body in a longer duration of your time of time in your body. Adrenaline is a natural decongestant or antihistamine. Excuse me.
Antihistamine.
That's why a lot of pills will have
So
like
what you're
caffeine
saying
and
is
stuff like
that
that.
people are allergic to peanuts are just pussies and need to work out more.
No, I'm talking about pollen allergies. But I try to do the
My
things.
answer was funnier.
I try to do things that like he was saying. It's not the sense of me trying to make sure I live longer. It's I'm doing stuff that I know has an immediate result on making me happier, even if I love the eating bad and eating like cakes and sugar and candy and all that shit. I know what the result would be. I smoked for over 20 years. And even though every once in a while when I'm drunk, I'll still maybe have a cigarette every once in a blue moon. I almost had one tonight.
Sure. Goddamn cigarettes are fucking delightful.
Here's the thing, most of the time I don't even think about it, but every once in a blue moon, and I'm talking like maybe once or twice a year, I'll have a very, very quick and fleeting moment, not associated with friends smoking or anything else, where I'll think, oh, I really want a cigarette right now.
Even when I don't smoke, I use nicotine. Nicotine is one of the greatest chemicals fucking ever created. I mean, it's
well, it's not created. It's natural. I
was gonna say ever created in the world. You know what I mean? But
okay.
Not chemicals.
Sure.
But nicotine is one of the most addictive, but also like wonderful fucking things you could ever fucking take. Like it's known to work as an antidepressant. You know what I mean? Work as a stimulant. It releases dopamines and endorphins into your system. It's also a stimulant. It fucking reacts within the creative centers of your brain. It helps in problem solving. It helps in creativity.
It actually used to calm me down a lot too.
It depends. Yeah, I mean everybody's different.
Yeah.
There's
For
also
me,
people
it used to
I know when I was in really bad, when my fucking anxiety was really high, I had to stop using nicotine because it was just kicking my system up and just that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
the most oppressive parts of my life, I was a smoker.
The biggest problem with nicotine is it's a cardiovascular constrictant, so it will increase your blood pressure, it'll increase your heart rate, and if you are hypersensitive to that and focusing on changes in your body, then it could be a negative. You know what I mean? But that being said, nicotine is fucking wonderful, and if you could just take nicotine without smoking through a nicotine lozenge or a patch, it's fucking delightful. It is delightful, and it can also be very productive chemical.
Well. Yes, and I
Sorry,
do.
I just went on a random.
No, but I do miss certain things about.
Oh! And the microphone's down for the count. So
how dare you, microphone?
It's such a shame that nobody could see this. Nolan passed out mid-podcast, woke up in a split second with a microphone in front of his face, and fucking hit that shit with a right hook. He took you got all of him, son. He ain't gonna fuck with you anymore. Oh, you got him. You got him.
Oh,
that motherfucker's down for the count. It's 4 feet away from him.
The fucking trajectory.
Yeah.
That was great. I wonder what that's gonna sound like when you actually
punches the mic.
Oh, holy shit!
I could see it coming too. He was nodding off.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's like
you and I were locked. I was here the whole time. I didn't even notice it.
Oh, I kept pointing. I was trying to signal you.
I missed it.
Check. All right.
It's like watching a heroin addict nod off. Is how Nolan goes out during one of his things, where it's just that slow head bob. You know
Yep.
And then it results in him punching the mic. Or
coffee didn't do shit.
Zebra hoof cum dragon.
Worked for a little bit.
A little bit for 5 minutes. Cum dragon.
Where the hell were we before he decided to get all
nicotine, right? So
that so rudely offended him.
Right? How dare you? That mic was talking shit.
Nicotine.
That night, that mic wouldn't stand for the bride and groom to come into the fucking wedding.
That was a previous podcast, but yeah, it's all right.
All right. Yeah, well, the listeners heard the last one. It's like an old.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway.
Whatever.
But no, the idea of smoking, like now, and I've been quote unquote smoke free for about 8 years now, almost 9 years now. Every time I have this one group of friends that we get together maybe once a year. Really, really good friends from way back in the day, friends for years. A couple of them are still pretty heavy smokers, and we will get lit. We're just completely drunk. I mean, this bottle of bourbon right here, like maybe 3 of those in a night. Like that's how drunk we'll get. Blackout drunk. Of course, I'm going to end up having a fucking cigarette. But every time I do, I wake up in the morning and my nose is all clogged. I have trouble breathing. Right? So like I feel yeah.
Oh, you're weak.
I feel I went from back when I was around like 19 or 20. I was at Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science. And I would literally be smoking about, no joke, no exaggeration, at least around 4 packs a day.
That is fucking ridiculous.
And
That's insane.
That's disgusting.
I was
making me like as a smoker of
I smoked
like fucking 20 years plus, like that's literally making me cringe.
I smoked pretty much 4 packs a day until I was about 24.
That is a ridiculous amount. How the fuck did you even find the time to smoke that many?
You
cigarettes?
find the time. You just do.
You find the time.
You just do it. Like
if it's important to you, you will make the time.
no, but
Like
that's
a
the thing. It
true
really
junkie.
is. I spent a good number of those years, a good amount of that time in those years, intoxicated. And a lot of when I'm drinking, I'm smoking. Back then, and you could still smoke in bars back then. So that made it really convenient. I always had a cigarette. I would monkey fuck my cigarettes constantly like one after the other. Yeah, it was the term.
I've never heard that. Yeah, lighting off. You're talking
Light off of
one cigarette, chain smoking, light one off the cherry off
Right.
the other. I've never heard that called monkey.
That's what we used to call it. We used to call it a monkey fuck. And we were like, I don't know the origin.
Okay. That's curious.
That's just the
So
term
weird
that we
term or
used.
something like that.
Different
but it
than
would just
gorilla fuck.
So he knows monkey fucking, but like pie as pizza is crazy.
I would gorilla fuck my cigarettes.
But yeah, that did a toll on my body. I mean, I started smoking when I was 10 years old. You know, to go from that to, you know, less than 10 years later to be smoking 4 packs a day. I mean, it definitely does a lot to you. So
yeah. If you're smoking 4 packs a day, that shit is really going to fuck up your cardio and your lungs.
Right. So then imagine the transition that once you stop and then you take 2 years out after you stopped and your body has started to try to heal itself and you've become a more acute
it has, yeah.
or more sensitive to what, you know, to listening to what your body's saying. You're in your 30s at this point. You're like, oh, fuck, I realize that this is not good for me or this is not good for me. You quickly feel the like what happens when you regress. You know, like Nolan is on this diet and he's doing really well, but as soon as he breaks rank, as soon as he goes off of it, he'll feel like immediately.
Shit. Yeah, immediately.
What happens? Like even if it's to the point of his shit is bad, or he's sluggish, or his mind, or he falls asleep.
When
more.
I do, you know, I eat what I want on Sundays.
Yeah, but even that's changed.
Even
right?
that's changed because I eat less of it but the
or
reason
even what you desire, what you want is changed.
The reason that's changed is because when I fucking eat certain things, I just feel so fucking unhealthy immediately because of it that it's changed what I fucking crave. Like I look at like dessert at dinner, I'm like, I can't fucking do this. I'm gonna feel like shit immediately. So it fucking changes everything.
If I have sugar after like a full on sugar dessert thing after like 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
I will not wake up right in the morning.
Yeah.
Like I'll be sluggish. It'll take me like normally I can get right out of bed.
So you can't eat sugar after 8? 'Cause you're like a fucking gremlin. Do you like?
No, I can't get wet after 8.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll split into like demons
Those
of
are
myself.
Mogwais,
You
not
can't-
gremlins, but Mogwais.
That's right. No,
No,
you
but
can't
it's
give
just-
them sugar at all.
Don't
Like-
eat after
That's the
midnight.
thing.
They'll
We'll
reproduce.
go out to dinner at Vernick or something, and
Sure.
even then, we'll have dessert. Our dinner's at like 6
Yeah.
ish.
6-ish.
So we're having dessert at 7:15,
7:30,
7:30. Even then, when I have dessert, then I still I feel like I know.
I feel like
going
shit
forward,
instantaneously now.
I'm not going to feel right the rest of the night, and I know in order to combat it, I'm going to have to go and run a mile or
Fucking bread
do
now
it.
puts me to sleep.
That's crazy because I've
Yeah.
never had like those type of issues at all when it comes to like.
I won't call them issues. It's just your body
I have them
sensitivity
now,
changes.
but I think it's because your body just adjusts to the poison, basically.
It could
It's like
be.
you have a little bit of poison, a little bit of poison, your body adjusts to it. You just get in this place where you're used to feeling like shit, and maybe it doesn't like fuck you up instantly, but you've built up a tolerance to it, and it doesn't fuck me up. Like I don't have a tolerance anymore, so now it fucks me up.
How do we
If I eat
get
like
back?
a slice of
It's
pizza,
like me with
I'll
alcohol.
fall
I
asleep.
used to be able to drink fucking a fifth of Jack before I even went out and still go out until like 6, 7 in the morning. Now I have three or four glasses of whiskey and I'm just done, like hammered.
How did
Then he
we?
uses like a teaspoon of semen to get him pumped up again.
Well, you got to mix it in to add that, you got
That's
to
the
stir it,
chaser.
not shaken though.
I just figured I'd bring it full circle. We got to bring it back to cum. This is the cum episode.
Endless cycle of shit and cum.
Just that's it. Just
I did that just for you.
thank you. I love that.
Yeah,
Just
just for you.
smash that ice against the fucking mic. It's awesome.
Why don't you drop your fucking
You could just
tin?
you could punch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can punch a mic. Suppose that is worse.
Now we're regressing into fucking insults.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're rattling ice. You punched the mic. Well, you dropped the flask.
You spewed on your washing machine.
I do like coming. Not necessarily on a washing machine, but in general, I'm a fan of ejaculating.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we could probably
Close it out.
that little note.
Close it out, Nolan.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening. Fuck you guys.